Hi students, parents, guardians. I just wanted to let you kind of see my face so that you could associate that voice that you're hearing on the actual back to school video with a human being, and that your students maybe as they come on campus, hopefully more often in the future, that they'll recognize me and feel comfortable and feel like they can come up and talk to me. So again, I'm Mrs. Short, and I look forward to teaching your student. Now I'm just going to take you through the back to school video and make sure you understand the class and how it's going to proceed, and then I will make the PowerPoint slides accessible to you so that you can click on some of the links and either join the Remind app that I use, or you can also look at the course syllabus in detail and find out a little bit more about world history and what's going to be happening with your student over the next year. Hi, welcome Santana students and guardians and parents to the virtual back to school night where I give you information about your students, either class that they've already been taking and are almost finished for the first quarter of, or I give you information about the class that your student will be pursuing quarter two. So we're going to start with talking about world history. I teach world history quarter two and quarter four. So my name is Mrs. Short. I've been teaching at Santana for 11 years, I believe, and prior to that I taught at Steele Canyon for 5 years. So I've been doing this quite a while. I enjoy it a lot. World history is where my heart is, and I really like 10th graders. And so I really enjoy working with them and getting them to get excited about the past and how relevant it is to understanding our world today. So I'm going to just take you through the slideshow, and I'll try to do it relatively quickly to honor your time. But what I would like to say about this is that this slideshow will be made available to you right beneath the link that is there for the video on the page where all of your teachers' courses and videos are. And then if you want to, you can actually open up the slideshow and be able to click on these documents that are linked within the slideshow. So first of all, world history, my course expectations, they're pretty clearly laid out. We are a course that requires that you have 60% of the course is classwork and homework, or whatever that's going to look like on this distance learning model, but 60% of the coursework will be graded in that classwork homework category, and 40% will be in assessments, mainly projects and writing assessments, because we have a very limited opportunity to give objective tests. But I also think that giving multiple choice objective tests sometimes is really limiting in showing what kids know. So we will have quizzes every once in a while, in addition to some projects and essays that will go in that other 40% category. So my course expectations are linked here. I'll let you look at those at your leisure because I know you guys can all read. One of the things that I wanted to take you through is the use of Schoology. So as of right now, I'm going to be using Schoology for world history unless for some reason it doesn't seem to work with the things that I need to do, but I think it's going to be okay. And Schoology, I'll show you the next slide. It has a really kind of interesting setup, and it might be new to you and or your students, so I want to make sure that you understand a little bit of what it looks like and what you can expect to see from me on a weekly basis. And then my late work policy has been rather compassionate during this time period of distance learning and COVID. I do have kind of a point at which I have to cut off grades for progress reports, and I can't take any late work after that. In addition, some of the larger projects really do need to be turned in on time, and they can be penalized for being turned in late. So the habit is, and what I say is, I don't accept late work except under certain circumstances, and you get like one assignment every couple weeks that you can turn in late. But again, it's not for the big projects, it's for more like I didn't get to my reading assignment. So it's all laid out in the course expectations. Make sure you read it and understand that, and then if you have any questions regarding late work. Distance learning expectations is another thing, just talking about the having your students attend Zooms if that is something that's happening at the time, or when they're in class, proper behavior. Again, school rules apply, Ed code applies, there's all these things that students we know are required to do, but my basic thing is be respectful. When you're talking to your teacher, be respectful. I will be respectful back. And then also to respect the other students in your class who are learners and who need to focus, and don't be a distraction and don't be a hindrance to them learning. So there are some expectations about how to participate in Zooms, and then also about my class. Again, it's in the course expectations. So hopefully you'll have a chance to look at that. I'll go through the little distance learning things that I really want to point out in a couple of slides. So let me show you the Schoology first. So Schoology looks like this when a student logs on. It might have a little different format, but a basic setup is that a student will get a folder sent out to them at the beginning of the week. And in that folder we'll have a calendar that on the Monday will be available to them. And so what they're going to do is right here you can see week 4 calendar. I would suggest that your student click on it, and if a printer is available, print it out so they can click off things and check off things as they do it. If not, you might want to encourage them to take that week 4 calendar, have it open, and then have a list or have a calendar or agenda that they add to, even a task thing on their phone which tells them, hey, I need to turn these things in on these days. So that calendar kind of gives them a nice overview. It'll be out at the beginning of the week and it'll kind of show them where they're going. But I will not have all the work open to them at the beginning of the week. So if your student is one of those people that likes to zoom ahead, tell them to not zoom ahead, focus on their other classes and do the work that they need to do for the day that it is assigned. So I have expanded out what Monday looks like to give you a little bit of an idea. I'll always have an instruction page here that your student will have to look at and view before they go into the work for the day. And that's very important because I give instructions here. Sometimes I will actually have an actual little video if I feel like it needs more explanation. So as you can see right here, there's some Monday instructions. That is a must-view item. If they do not view that, none of these folders will open up. So just make sure if your student comes in and says, my stuff won't open, it's because they haven't reviewed the instructions for the day. So make sure they do that. Then once they've done that, you want to do the items in order that they are set up here. So this person was going to do the Introduction to the Reformation Church History lecture. Inside this folder will be a lecture to listen to and a notes page to take, and then they'll turn it in when they're finished. Here is your McKay reading notes. This would have been for another class, but just to give you an idea, they'll have some maybe book notes or something they're supposed to read, and they would click on this and it'll have the material there for them. And then here is an actual assignment that is already set up that they click on, they work on it, and I have it laid out here what days they do what pages, and then that they submit it Friday by 11:59. And then here's just a resource of terms that I have attached. And if they were to read the instructions, they would see how all of these things apply and how to get through the week. So this would be in the Monday folder. Again, the way we're set up right now on quarter system, your student can expect from my class about 2 hours of work a day, Monday through Friday. They may finish it earlier, but that's kind of about what you can expect. And if your student is struggling and not getting through the work in the 2-hour allotment, we can talk and start to figure out maybe some strategies to help them be a little bit more successful. If we are back on campus, that time period of work will be adjusted based on the day they're back on campus. So it might say, instead of days here, it'll like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it'll say day 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then class day, because they're 1 day a week they're in class. And if your child is on full distance learning, then they would just do that class day for their Friday assignment, whereas everybody else would have done it maybe on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending on what day they came to school. So we will be on some kind of distance learning for a while. So I just wanted to remind kind of about expectations on distance learning. First of all, students will be assigned work on a daily basis, and they're supposed to submit the work the next day, no later than 8 a.m., unless there is a later due date that would be listed very clearly. Otherwise, the work is due the next day. Students need to contact me and come to tutorial if they need help, so they need to reach out. Emails that they send after 3 p.m. are not going to be answered till the next day. So really, the students need to understand that they need to wake up in the morning, they need to start looking at their work, and even if they don't decide they'd rather work at night, they better start looking through it and make sure if they have any questions that they submit them to me before 3 o'clock so I can get back to them. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck and have to turn in a whole bunch of work late, which is not going to go well. When you email your teacher, I want you to email how you would email very nicely, and maybe you don't email very often, but you need to always include your full name. You need to put your period. You need to explain what you need, and you need to ask nicely. Again, your tone matters just like my tone matters when I demand something. So demanding things is not good. Making requests is fine. During your Zoom lessons, I want you to be ready to participate if we're still doing them and to answer questions. Same thing if we're in class. Come to class ready to participate and answer questions. And then as of right now, again, if you were on Zoom at any time, I would love for you to have your camera on. Kids who participate and have their cameras on do better, it seems, because they're more likely to interact. Plus, I'm more likely to pick up on when they don't understand something. But, you know, your behavior on that Zoom is got to abide by the school rules. So I haven't had any problems so far, but I just wanted to put that out there. Last big thing that I'm going to be using is the Remind text app. And this is where your student will sign up for Remind, and then every day, at the end of the day, I will attach a document to Remind that has the announcements for the next day, kind of just prepping the students for what's going to happen the next day. Anytime there's any issues that come up, I would go ahead, if there's an emergency and something's not working, I would send a text out to the students on Remind. So it's very important that the students are on this Remind app, and they're much more likely to check this than they are their email, so that's why I'm using Remind. So the join information is here. They can just click on it. If you want to get the information too, you can go ahead and join as a parent as well. I don't mind, but that's available for you. And then last is this contact. If you need me, I would love to talk to you. Contact me through email though. Phone's not really going to work if we're not on campus. Like on Mondays, I'm not going to be answering my phone at school. So email is the best way to get a hold of me. If we need to, at some point, we can set up a Zoom call. I find those much better than even just the old phone. And I can talk to you about whatever is going on with you or your student. And then tutorial hours, I will be posting them as we get to quarter 2 and we start going with world history. But just know I'm available. Don't call me on the phone. Email me first, and then I'll get in contact with you. Because again, I won't be in my classroom other than those hours from essentially 9:15 to 12:40 when I'm interacting with students on this level 2 thing that we're doing coming up here. And then if we go to level 3 or level 4 and we're on campus more often, then you might be successful with a phone call. But again, I can't answer the phone while students are in the classroom, and so really I can get back to you much quicker through email.